These are as well. All right, so this is a reciprocal identity that you guys should already know. And there is a quotient identity. It's gonna be tangent of theta is equal to what? And the cotan of theta is equal to cosine theta over sine theta. Okay, Diego, I need you to go back to see. Isaac need to learn on his own. Just show up or watching the video. Well, you can't even watch a video because the stream is too long. Yeah, there is an old video. You can search it up. Old video. Okay, so those are identity that we already talked about, and we're constantly using it, right? So let's talk about geometry again. Remember geometry in Pythagorean identity, it has this, right? If I have a theta, there's an A, there's a B, there's a C. So what's the relationship between A, B, and C? Yep. Am I going too fast? Is something that you don't know about? And this is on SAT a lot. This is on SAT a lot. Why? Sometimes on SAT they will say, hey, this is a right triangle. Just a review what's going to be on your SAT. And this side is, I don't know, this side is 12 and this side is 10. And they say, can you figure out this side? Do you know how to do it? Has been termed radical. But it's just a review of Pythagorean identity. So on SAT, you're going to emphasize on triangle, right triangle, especially right triangles. One's 45, 45, 90, one's 30, 60, 90, one's Pythagorean identity. If you focus on those three things really well, it should improve your SAT score, at least on the geometry part. Do you guys know what's a stir sign? You guys are junior, you guys taking the SAT in March, right? How many of you guys are junior? Raise your hand. Huh? I think so. Okay. So remember, you're gonna see some type of question like this, and you gotta be able to figure out what they are. Do you guys know the third side? How many got an answer? Raise your hand if you got an answer. How many have not get the answer? You don't know how to do it? The reset? Do you know how to do it? No? Shanti, do you know how to do it? It's gonna be radical something. Something radical something. So we're gonna assign this as A, this is a B, this is a C, right? So it'll be 10 squared plus B squared equal to 12 squared. And that's B squared plus 100 equal to 144. B squared is equal to 144 minus 100. So B squared equal to 44. B is equal to square root 44, which is 2 root 11. Do you guys get that? But do you know how to get it? On SAT, this should be an easy question. You are going to get a Pythagorean identity constantly asking to you. This is actually on one of the tests, on the test 1. Okay, so this is a 45. They say it's isosceles right. So they say it's isosceles right. And they say if this side's a 58, and they say what's perimeter of this triangle? What's the perimeter of a? So this is isosceles right. Do you know what isosceles mean? They are congruent, right? And this should be what? What degree is this? 45, 45, right? So can you find out perimeter of this? This is actual test. This is actual test on Blue Book. First test. I promise you. Do you guys remember the special right triangle ratios?
What is that?
58. Okay. Did you guys get a perimeter? You don't know how to get perimeter?
You add five. What?
And then you divide it by 2, right? Because they trash.
That's area.
Like, how do you add five? I forgot.
Is it 8 or 58?
58.
Oh, I thought it was 8.
It doesn't matter. What is it? It's same idea to us. I'll approach all of them.
So you're adding.
Is it 29?
So 58 is equal to what? 58 equal to what? Sydney? You're supposed to know. 45, 49, 590 is what? X root 2. Do you guys know this?
I know that.
Yeah. And you told me you don't know? X equal to 58 over root 2. So you rationalize it. So it'd be X equal to 58 times 2 times root 2. This is equal to 29 root 2, right? So this is 29 root 2, and it's 29 root 2. So your perimeter is equal to 29 root 2 plus 29 root 2 plus 58. So is it going to be 58 root 2 plus 58? Or 58 parentheses square root 2 plus 1. That will be the answer for this. Doesn't matter, but both answers are correct. This is actual SAT question. I helped my son last week. Yep, he's at 8th grade. I say I'm not paying for your college. I'm too poor to pay your college. You're gonna get your bright future at 8th grade, so I don't have to worry about you in high school. That's what I told him. I says I'm not paying for your college. If you don't get good, guess what? You're gonna go work in McDonald's.
You too Asian.
Yeah. If you have one missing homework, there's no roadblock for you. And guess what? He finished all his homework. I think that's very effective. He's gonna be here next year.
Is he gonna be in pre-calc?
He's gonna be in pre-calc because he's taking algebra 2 online right now.
That's insane.
No, trust me, he's not smart. He's pretty dumb. I told him all the time. He's like, Dad, do you think I can make it to Harvard? I said, no. It builds character. You gotta learn how to. I was like, if you make the UCF, hallelujah, great. High expectation, right? That's okay. So now a squared plus b squared is the geometry formula, but there was a Pythagorean identity in terms of trig. So I'm gonna write down A, B, C, and I'm gonna write down A is opposite. Would you agree? B is adjacent, and C is equal to what? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is gonna take this equation, and then we're gonna divide it by a squared. Got it? So what happens a squared divided by a squared? Okay. B is gonna be adjacent, right? Over hypotenuse. Would you over hold on. B is opposite, right? And then square, right? Is equal to hypotenuse over A is opposite square, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, what is A over O?
What?
What's up?
SOHCAHTOA. Now there was another one, which is a cosecant, right? So SOHCA is means sine theta equal to opposite over hypotenuse, right? What does C stand for? Cosecant. Cosecant is gonna be CHO, right? Cho. Right? And secant is gonna be HA. Cho Shai sounds like Chinese. And CAO cow. Wow, this does sound like Chinese. Cho Shai cow. What was that? I swear, this is probably a Chinese person named Cho Shai Kao. Okay, what's the A over O here? See, that's 1 plus what? Cotangent square of theta, right? Do you see HO? H over O?
So?
It's cosecant, right? Does that make sense?
How we gonna Chinese guys today? Wait, isn't it just close? What's the cotangent?
Mr. A, I think you need to play it back.
Okay, let's play it back. Let's play it back. Let's play it back. Let's play it back. Let's go with easier one. Let's go with easier version, okay? Let's slow down a little bit. Let's don't talk Chinese. SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so let's start with the easy one. I did forget that there's another easy one. It's a lot easier than this. So instead of a squared plus b squared, sorry, instead of a squared, okay, all right, instead of a squared plus b squared equal to c squared, instead of divided by a, I'm going to divide it by c. I'm going to divide it by c squared. Is that okay? I'll divide by c squared. What will happen is a over c squared, what'd you say? Plus b over c squared is equal to what? 1. What is a over c? Well, this one is a is the opposite, right? Over hypotenuse. What'd you say? And this is adjacent over hypotenuse. So what would this be? Sine theta square plus cosine theta square is equal to 1. Now the proper way to write sine theta square, it should be in between like this. So if you have sine squared theta, that means sine theta times by sine theta. That means sine square. So you don't want to put it at the end because sine squared theta does not equal to sine theta square, because one is theta is square, one is a sine square. So make sure you write in this format is the best. So do you come out the first trig identity for Pythagorean identity?
Where's the Chinese name?
You like the Chinese one? I just discovered that today too.
They're gonna be the name of your next child.
That'd be pretty cool. My daughter's gonna be Sokatoa, and then my son is gonna be Choshai Kao. Choshai Kao. Okay, so this is the first Pythagorean identity. Is that okay? Yes. It's opposite over hypotenuse. So you see this opposite over hypotenuse is sine theta. Okay, so now let's take this. We take this, and instead of go the other way, we're gonna divide it by sine squared theta. What happened if you divide by sine square over sine square? What's cosine over sine? And now this is equal to cosecant squared theta, right? It's because 1 over sine is cosecant, right? So that becomes the second identity for Pythagorean. Do you guys ever read a children book called Brown Bear?
Wait, 1 fish, 2 fish, 5 fish.
That's actually pretty funny because I have one student, his name is Connor. 10 years ago, but anyway, don't worry about it. Okay, so I can take this instead of divided by sine square, I can divide by cosine square. So if I divide by cosine square theta, what would you get? 10 squared theta, right? Plus 1 equal to what? Secant squared theta, right? And that becomes the third identity. So you learn the Pythagorean identity. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. And this is geometry. So this is a before the first one. So that's like a prequel. Prequel is a squared plus b squared. And then go to a sine square plus cosine square equal to 1. And go to 1 plus cotangent square equal to cosecant square. And tangent square of theta plus 1. Does that make sense? Now you need to memorize this because this is going to be on your next test. Now I sent on a group chat, not on this group chat, but on I think I want to see if you're smart enough to figure out this though. Sure. Let's see if you guys smart enough to figure out. Airdrop.
Oh, shit. I will young to check That'd be a great thing to do. But,
Oh, it's sexy.
yeah.
Let's see sexy tennis though.
It's not sexy and I know.
No, but you have to understand that, right? So 1 plus tangent square, right? So it says 1 plus tangent square theta, right? So that's equal to what? And then they say inside use theta, they use c, so that will be secant square of c, right? Does that make sense? And then that becomes square root square, so it'll be secant of c. So sec c. Huh? I don't know. When I saw this shirt, I started laughing. I was like, I guess not many people would know what it meant.
Did you draw it?
Huh? No, I cut it from the internet.
I don't get it. Wait, can you do it again?
So 1 plus tangent square is what? Secant, right? Secant square. So secant square of c. And square root of secant square root of c is secant.
This equals that, right?
So it'll be secant c,
Wait,
sec
why,
c.
why is 1 plus?
Well, it's because root correct here. 1 plus tangent is this.
Oh.
Are we okay here? So I thought that sure is pretty funny. Anyway. Okay, how much time I have?
5 minutes.
17 minutes. It's good enough to teach the next lesson. All right. So we talk about unit circle. Unit circle is equal to multiplication table. Multiplication table, right? And we talked about yesterday is the exact value. Exact value is equal to 3 times 7, right? So 3 times 7 is same thing. You don't want to do 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 4. That takes too long. We have to know what the sine of pi over 6 is right away. It's 1/2. Now today it's called solving equations. Solve equations. Now solve equation is same thing that I say 21 equal to what number times what number? Right? It has how many combination? 1 times 21. It has 3 times 7, right? So today we're going to talk about solving equation. So right now we're going to have a sine of theta is equal to 1/2. What will be the theta? And we're going to say between 0 to 2 pi. What will be a theta that hold true? Theta might have multiple answers. If you know it, raise your hand. Sine of what equal to 1/2? Sine of, yes, Anna? I have a 6, good. That's one of them.
Oh,
Sydney?
no.
Two.
No. Wait. Wait, no. 5 pi over 6.
5 pi over 6, good. So today you're solving the equation. It's going backward because there's two terms. There was a pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6.
And then it's
Okay, so let me ask you to solve one.
Oh, negative pi.
Okay, I want you to solve a theta here. I want you to solve a theta. How do I solve a theta?
oh,
So, yeah, you have to divide, then you get, a 0
oh.
That's only half correct.
And then you look at the divide, negative pi squared.
What kind of real
Negative 2 equals 2. Negative.
So other one. You 5 is going to be 5 pi. Okay, there's 2. Yeah.
There's two answers.
No, 5 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. I'm sorry.
Okay, so some people already got it. So do you realize it's something like it's asking you 21 is equal to what number times what number? Does that make sense? It's kind of same analogy, right? Yeah. Instead of asking you what's 3 times 7, yesterday we asked you what's sine of pi over 3. That's square root of 3 over 2. But today we asked you sine of theta is equal to square root of 3 over 2. What is the theta? So in this case, that we want divided by negative 2 here. Does that make sense? You're going to get cosine of theta equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. Now, when cosine theta equal to negative square root of 2 over 2, what is theta? theta is equal to, well, obviously it's going to be x is negative. It's going to be on a quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. The only time that give you square root 2 over 2 is going to be quadrant 2 and 3 is going to be pi over 4. So it'll be 3 pi over 4 as well as 5 pi over 4. Does that make sense? So this is called a particular solution. Particular solution. Now, particular solutions between 0 to 2 pi. What about infinite amount of solution? Well, this is called a general solution. 3 pi over 4 plus 2n pi. And this is general solution. What do you mean by general? Because n is any natural number. N stands for natural number. And has to be integer. So what happens if you plus 2 pi? You're going back to the same location. Does that make sense? If you're adding 2 pi, it's just adding a circle. So you go back to location. So this is called general solutions. So this is general solutions. This is a particular solution. Particular solution is within a range. A general solution is what solution overall. You guys understand?
Where'd you get the 22?
Huh?
Is it 2n pi?
2n pi, yes. So think about 2 pi. What is 2 pi? It's going 360 degrees, right? So 360 degrees is going to give you the same answer. So n just is some natural number. So you could have plus 2 pi or plus 4 pi or plus 8 pi or plus 16 pi plus 10 pi plus 12 pi. They're all going to give you the same answer, just same rotation. Think about your figure skater. You rotate 360 degrees, you come back, you land on the same spot. You rotate 720, you're going to land on the same spot. You're adding 2 pi each time, right? You land on the same spot each time. Am I going too fast? Okay. So let me ask you a question. What would it be here? So solving the equation right here, right? So 2 cosine square of theta plus cosine of theta plus 1 equal to 0, and I want it between 0 to 2 pi. Let me see if you can figure this out. Does that look familiar? You must do something first. You must do something first. Algebra. Think about algebra. What do you have to do? Raise your hand if you think you know. Yes. Huh? Divide? Divide by 2? No.
You get rid of
Subtract 1? No. Miranda?
Divide by 3.
No. Tasnia? A box method.
Oh my.
Think about this. This is no different than 2x squared plus x plus 1, right? And this is where I say box method is better because it shows everything. I'm sorry, one of them is negative sign, by the way. Sorry, this one is negative sign. So this is a negative sign. I'm sorry, let me change this to negative sign. So this is a negative 1, right? So what times what equal to 2 cosine squared theta? What? What times what equal to 2 cosine squared theta? What? What'd you say, Olivia? Good. Does that make sense? Cosine times cosine equal to cosine squared, right? What times what equal to 1? So it should be 1 and 1, but which one need to be negative? The top one? Is that okay? And that's going to be cosine theta negative 2 cosine theta. It becomes this, right? Pair diagonally. 2 cosine theta minus 1. And cosine theta is plus 1. Is that okay? What do I do next? What would you do if it is quadratic? What would you do? Set each one equal to what? Does that make sense? Cosine theta is equal to plus 1 is equal to 0. Cosine theta is equal to negative 1. Now, am I solving the question yet? I need to find out what theta is. What is theta here? What will be theta here? No, not pi. Pi over 6 is no. Denisha? 1/2 first. Huh? Pi over 3 is good. That's one answer. What's the other one? Pi over 3. Does that make sense? And this theta is equal to what? Pi. Good. Now, this is called particular solution. If I want a general solution, I just add this. Does that make sense? I'm adding like circles. How many circles I want. It doesn't matter. I can go infinite amount of circles if I want. I can want n is equal to 1,000. It'd be 1,000 times 2 pi, but just gonna be like a lot of rotations. Do you understand or no?
Yeah, no, we understand. You understand.
Yep.
When you write the problem, you write the thing in parentheses next to like 0, 2 pi. What is that like for?
That's just a range. I want it between 0 to 2 pi. This is between 0 to 2 pi. Now, if I want a general solution, then it's going to be plus 2n pi. 0 to 2 pi is the input I can get. I only want it between 0 to 2 pi. 2n pi. Yeah, 2n pi, n represents a natural number. So basically, you add 2 pi is a circle. So if you're going to get 2 pi, it's going to get back to the circle. It's going to give you the same value, right? Same output. So basically, it's just adding a coterminal angle to it. Coterminal angle is going to result you the same solutions. So n could be any number. So it'd be adding 2 pi, 4 pi, 10 pi, 12 pi. It's going to be the same value. Because just imagine me, I'm facing you. If I rotate all the way around, I'm still facing you. If I rotate 2 pi. Does that make sense? So that's infinite amount of answers. So 4 sine squared minus 1 equal to 0. This one has two ways to approach it. I prefer factoring. But you can do it without factoring. There are 4 answers. You got 4?
I think so.
Let me check.
Yeah, 4 answers?
Yep, that's correct. So you can go to the Santa Lucia competition. Next Saturday. Next Saturday. Bolt. Yeah. I think this one. That's yeah. I think so. You are. You are going to this? Is it like once I see it? Any help? Good. Plus minus. Okay. So think about it. It's plus minus. It's just for square. That's square plus. How do you spell that? No square. So okay, there's that minus 4. Think about it like this. So I'm going to show you two ways to approach it. This is called difference of a square. And if you know difference of a square is same thing as like 4x squared minus 1. This is equal to 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Do you know that this is actually, you can see it, 2 4 sine square of x minus 1. And this is 0 sine of x. 0 because there was no middle term, right? So it'll be 2 sine of x. 2 sine of theta, and this is 2 sine theta, and this is 1 and 1, then this is going to be 2 sine theta, and this 2 sine theta. That means one of them need to be negative, so it'll be 2 sine theta plus 1 times 2 sine theta minus 1 equal to 0. So sine of theta is equal to negative 1/2, sine of theta is equal to positive 1/2. Theta is equal to pi over 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Theta is equal to pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. Now you can also go around. No, you're not climbing outside. Go around. There's a door.
Mr. Yi,
I get in trouble.
oh man. You see my father trying to go to the border and I don't do it.
Diego, you make my day. Now, some people do it this way. That doesn't mean it's wrong. But the problem of that is a little bit more tricky. Because if you do this way, it's going to be square root 1 over 4 plus minus like this. So that's the problem is you forgot the plus minus. That's equal to plus minus 1 over 2. And you can rationalize it. Square root 2 over 2 plus minus. Actually, hold on a second. Oh, 1/2. This is 1/2. This is 1/2. This is plus minus 1/2. So therefore, theta is equal to pi over 6, 5 pi over 6. Theta equal to 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Huh? I feel like factoring is easier. Yeah.
You got one question like that.